Reading with your kids.
Hola, ni hao, konnichiwa, assalamu alaikum, shalom, jambo, bienvenidos. Hi, my name is Jedley, and this is the Reading with Your Kids podcast. We are coming to you from the beautiful neighborhood of Reedville in the southwest corner of Boston, Massachusetts. We are delighted that you're part of our beautiful Reading with Your Kids family. We have two fantastic authors here today celebrating their books. First, Ellwyn Autumn is back on the show to celebrate Teddy Bear Tea. And later on, A C Altintas will be here to celebrate I Don't Want to Be a Dragon Without Teeth. Before we invite Ellwyn and AC into the studios, we want to let you know that this episode of the Reading with Your Kids podcast is brought to you by a fantastic graphic novel. It's Alice in Wonderland by Russell Punter, and it's available on our website, readingwithyourkids.com, at our brand new bookstore page. Just go to readingwithyourkids.com, click on the bookstore link at the top of the page. You and your kids are going to love Alice in Wonderland, the graphic classic. When Alice follows a white rabbit into his burrow, she enters a fantastic world of weird and wonderful characters. Lewis Carroll's classic fantasy story is faithfully retold in this gorgeously illustrated comic book adaptation. The Graphic Classic series is a great way to introduce kids, especially reluctant readers, to some of the most beloved children's books in literature. Check it out today. Go to our website, readingwithyourkids.com. Click on the bookstore link at the top of the page. Joining us on the line right now from Philadelphia in the great state of Pennsylvania. She is returning to the show to celebrate her brand new picture book called Teddy Bear Tea. Please welcome back Ellwyn Autumn. Ellwyn, how are you?
I'm great, Jed. Thank you so much for having me on the show, and hello to all of your listeners.
Excited to have you back on the show, and excited to learn all about Teddy Bear Tea. Tell us about this new book, please.
Well, it's a children's poem that I wrote a few years ago, and I found an illustrator, and I had it illustrated through the illustrator's name is Tanya Glebova. She is extremely talented, and little did I know that it just seems like the perfect book for the climate that we're in right now. It's just joyful, it's inclusive, it celebrates diversity, and it's all about coming together and just celebrating life and having a good time. So, yeah.
Yeah, we certainly do need some joy and togetherness right now.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So tell me how this book, how this poem celebrates diversity. Do we meet characters from all over the world?
Well, it's all about the forest animals, but they're all different colors. They're all different kinds of animals, and they're all just coming together, dancing, singing. There's a child in it, but the child, you don't see whether it's a boy or a girl. I wanted it to be, when children read the book, I want them to be able to see themselves in the child, which will hopefully, encompass the diversity and the inclusivity piece that I was trying to capture.
Yeah. That's a wonderful thing that I'm hearing from other authors that are just creating characters that undefined, and characters that kids can see them, look through the characters' eyes and picture themselves in the story.
Yeah, and then I taught for so long in the Philadelphia School District, so I know when children can relate to a character, if that book is put into the library, they will return to it again and again, and then they'll share it with their friends in the library, and that just builds friendships and really good memories.
That's something that I don't think we've talked about here on the show, the fact that the love of a good book can be the basis in the foundation for friendships between kids.
Yeah, when I taught, I don't know if you're familiar with David Shannon and the No David series.
Not off the top of my head.
Okay, well, it was an absolute favorite. Whenever I would read that book, and there's not a lot of words, and the pictures are just colorful, and some of David's antics are so outrageous that, the kids just laugh out loud. So you put the book in the library, and just all of them would start gathering around together, and then, they would talk about it like at lunchtime, or, if they were in the centers, or, it carried over just into lots of different things. So, yeah, I think when you can share a laugh with someone, it really helps to solidify a positive experience, which helps build the friendships.
Yeah. I don't think we understand that there's a real therapeutic thing that happens when you're laughing and your body is releasing those endorphins. That's a great place to be in, and I think it really opens yourself up to friendship and understanding and cooperation.
Right, and then it's like, especially for kids who are shy, if they're talking about a book and they're not really good at starting conversations, sharing the book is a great conversation starter. And then, of course, when we read the books, whatever we were reading, I would ask different questions and maybe give little prompts if they were in the library, just to start the conversations for them.
When you were teaching, did you have aspirations of writing your own children's books?
Yes, I did. I've actually wanted to write ever since I was little. So I left the school district a few years ago, and now that's what I'm doing. I'm writing children's books. Over the summer, because of the COVID learning loss, I was doing, virtual classroom visits, and I was talking with a lot of the teachers. They were still trying to get their footing on how to teach kids, but I was hearing from a lot of the teachers that the children weren't signing on and doing what they needed to do in a lot of the cases. So I made a summer learning series, summer camp, where I just took the theme of summer, broke it down, did a different lesson each week, focused on a different letter of the alphabet, and I'm just trying to help where I can, to help fill the gap.
What a beautiful idea. Yeah, that is something that I've heard too, that there were a lot of kids that weren't signing on, and there's a lot that goes into it. I imagine there's a certain percentage of kids who just decides they're not going to get on, they're not, don't have supervision at home. But there's also a lot of other extenuating circumstances with families and needing to, to share a computer, and parents are trying to work from home, and all sorts of challenges for families. What a wonderful service to make that available for families and kids.
Oh, well, thank you. It was just something, I just felt like I needed to do. But to piggyback off of what you said about the children, learning at home, sometimes they don't have access to the resources like the computers. And even in some cases, I've heard when they get the computers, they're not working properly. So that's another hurdle that a lot of districts have to deal with.
It is, and that's one of the things that COVID has pointed out, and we've talked about it here on the show, is that we are absolutely all in the same storm together, but yes, we're not in the same boat.
Yeah, you're definitely right.
Yeah. And I think that this is, I think it's really important too for us to understand. And if one thing that we come out of, when we come out of this, because we are going to come out of this, it's important for us to remember that not only in the times of pandemics, but we're not in, we don't all have the same resources. We don't all have aren't facing the same challenges. And I think for those of us who are comfortable or have some stability, and we need to remember that there are a lot of families that are really struggling, and we need to do our best to help those folks.
Yeah, I said, I'm not in the classroom anymore. Yeah, I'm not in the classroom anymore, but just, thinking back on what I saw when I taught, how limited the resources were in my district, and the struggles that my kids went through, and they were so bright. And if they had the same opportunities that other children have, I couldn't imagine how much they would have, flourished even more.
Yeah. As a teacher, how important do you think, or as a former teacher, how important do you feel it is for parents to sit down and read with their kids every day?
Oh, it's the cornerstone of, I think it's the cornerstone of everything. When you read to your child, you're not just reading words, you're making, you're making an emotional connection, because not only, like we talked about a couple minutes ago with in the classroom, when you're building positive relationships, when you're reading together, you're building family time, you're making positive memories. When your child thinks about reading, they're going to remember all of those warm moments that, you spent together on the couch or at bedtime reading stories, and it helps with literacy. There's just so many things that reading does. It teaches kids that reading is important. They see their parents doing it, they'll want to do it even more.
Yeah, absolutely. And what about as our kids are growing, and a lot of kids, they hit 5, 6 years old, some kids 4, they're able to read on their own, and a lot of families, I think, they just say, well, that's done, I don't need to read with the kids anymore. What value do you think there is to continue to read to those kids who are in 1st, 2nd, 3rd grade, maybe even middle and high school?
Like I said, it builds relationships, and even though children can read certain level books at a certain age, they still need to learn maybe some comprehension skills, the parents could ask certain questions. Mm-hmm. The children also need to learn the different types of inflection that come with each part of speech. And then, just learning different vocabulary. Mm-hmm. If they're reading with parents and parents are reading books with maybe more challenging vocabulary, they'll develop the vocabulary, their knowledge base will grow. So, even though children can read on their own, it's just really important to still read to them.
Yes.
And also listening to books is a different skill than, reading them yourself. Mm-hmm. So you're also developing, auditory skills.
One of the things that I heard is that when kids are listening, and they're not necessarily reading a picture book, but they're listening to a story, that exercise in visualization is something that helps them with their comprehension. They become more able to comprehend stories.
Yes, because like I said, comprehension is a whole other skill set. You can teach a child to read a sentence, but just because they read the sentence doesn't mean they know what they read. Mm-hmm. You have to develop both.
Yeah. What kind of feedback do you get from the books that you put out a number of books? What's your favorite feedback that you've ever heard?
Oh, well, in the spring when I was doing the virtual visits, this one little boy sent me a video message, and he wrote me the thank you note. He was in kindergarten, and then he read it to me, and that was just one of the most rewarding things I could have ever gotten. Just seeing how excited my story made him, and it just inspired him to write a letter, and his mother made the video. I love hearing from the kids, and how it affects them, or inspires them.
Yeah, that must have been simply amazing. I imagine I can just picture the smile on your face as you were watching that video.
Oh yeah, and then I had to show all my family. I'm like, look what I just got, and I couldn't wait to share it with everyone. And actually, I still have a relationship with the mother and the little boy now. For Teddy Bear Tea, they were one of the people that I sent an advanced reader copy to before, it came out yesterday.
Yeah. Now, I'm imagining, as I said, I imagine your smile when you were watching that boy's video. Do you ever, as you're writing or completing a new project, do you ever sit back and imagine the smiles that are going to be on parents' and kids' faces as they're reading your books?
Yes. Well, with some of the Kamila Chung books, I don't know if, like the Classroom Bully one, mm-hmm. was such a serious topic. I pictured more conversations mm-hmm. being had. But I do imagine, when I laugh at certain parts when I'm writing, I hope that people, when they read my book, will also find the parts that I thought humorous, funny themselves, and maybe bring a little smile to their faces.
Yeah. Well, I know folks are going to want to know more about you, and they're going to want to know where they can go online to find out more about Teddy Bear Tea and also in all of your books. So let us know where we can connect with you.
EllwynAutumn.com. And I'm also on Facebook at Ellwyn Autumn Author. I'm on Instagram as Ellwyn Autumn, Twitter as Ellwyn Autumn. But you can access everything directly through my website, EllwynAutumn.com.
We've had a great time speaking to the author of the brand new picture book, Teddy Bear Tea. The author is Ellwyn Autumn. Ellwyn, thanks so much for being back on the show.
Oh, thank you so much for having me, Jed. And I hope everyone and you stay safe and keep reading.
And now, via the magic of technology, we travel from Philadelphia to the beautiful nation of Slovenia to speak to A C Altintas. Joining us right now from Slovenia. I believe this is our first guest from Slovenia. I'm really excited. He is the author of I Don't Want to Be a Dragon Without Teeth. Please welcome to the show, A C Altintas. AC, how are you?
Thank you so much, Jed. Thank you for this warm welcoming. Thank you so much. I'm very fine.
It's great to have you on the show. We share something in common. I Don't Want to Be a Dragon Without Teeth was also illustrated by the talented illustrator that illustrated my book. I love that I mattered to you, Sangamita Dasgupta. And she's an amazing illustrator, and so I feel like we're kind of related in that way. We're part of Sangamita's great family.
Yes, exactly. She is very great. She handled all my caprices during the illustration period. Exactly, she's choosing the right images. She created these characters. She's wonderful, really. She's the best.
Now, one of the things that I really love, on your author page on Amazon, you start out by saying, I cannot describe myself as a writer. It would be a shame against real writers. I'm just a dad. What inspired you to lead off your author page with that quote?
Yeah. Look, I'm about my 50s at the moment, and I have 3 kids. The oldest, about 19 years old at the moment. My daughter is about 17, and the little one is about 11 years old. And during this period, when we get these kids, when I get the kids, I developed myself. It was like really a profession. I learned this dadding profession step by step with my son, with my second daughter, and the third daughter. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But become an expert at the moment.
I really appreciate that, because I don't think as a society we really respect the fact that being a parent is it's a really important job. It's a profession. It's a vocation, and it's probably the most important thing that we can do. And it's also one of the hardest things we can do.
Exactly. You're right. As a parents, also my wife and myself, we paid, and we are really would like to pay more attention to our family and the other families as well.
So let's talk about I Don't Want to Be a Dragon Without Teeth.
This is a story, actually, gone by my little one. Her name is Mina. Actually, it was about 2 years ago, one of her teeth was moving. And we wanted to pull, but she was afraid of dentists. I don't know why, but she was always afraid, and she's still. And I said to her, look, she has a pet also at home, a cat, a Persian cat. And I said, look, I'm going to tie your teeth with a string to the tail of your cat. And she get crazy. She believed that this can happen. She get crazy. She said, no way, I don't want this. And after this sparked an idea in my mind, that day I also made this story, and dragon came out by this way. Why we choose dragon? Also, dragon. I mean, you can ask, for example, why you didn't put in the main character as your child, but a dragon. We wanted to replace the dragon because dragon between the kids, it's inspiring a power. Like dragons are the most powerful creatures in their imagination, and dragons cannot be hurt. They cannot have a toothache, for example. That's why we put a dragon in this character.
Very cool, very cool. I love, kids do love dragons. And, you know, it's really neat to see their love of dragons kind of evolve, you know, because at first they love the cute dragons, like Sangamita drew in your book, and then they grow, and then they like the fearsome, fire-breathing, dangerous dragons. Why do you think kids like dragons so much?
I really don't know this. But in our environment in Europe, you know, we have dragons. In the history, we have dragons. I don't know why they like dragons that much, but dragons and dinosaurs are very, very popular between the kids. Girls, boys, they love them.
Yeah, it really is fascinating. I remember loving dinosaurs when I was growing up. My son was a big fan of Barney the Dragon here in Barney the Dinosaur here in the United States. A little bit too much. We took a road trip, and it was a 2-week road trip. My son was maybe 6 months old, and we had to listen to the Barney cassette every single minute for every single mile of that trip.
Yeah.
And thank goodness it broke.
That's safe, right?
Yes. So tell me, what does your daughter, who inspired this story, think about I Don't Want to Be a Dragon Without Teeth?
Yeah. At the beginning, she didn't understand, you know, that, she said to me, why you're replacing me instead of dragon? I said, look, in this part, I was thinking also, with my wife's help also, we think about when we are going to publish this book, we wanted to give a message to the parents, that parents can use as a trick, let me say, as a trick for toothache cases and for their children, that they can say, look, you are as powerful as a dragon. I wanted to mention this to her, and she understood that way. By this way, she gets more brave, and by this way, she go through this toothache. And the next day, we went to the dentist. Yeah, I wanted her to replace herself of a dragon, that to feel that this is power. Because all these kids, if you are going to ask someone, that they're going to say, yes, dragons are strong, dragons are powerful. Kids are like that. Kids like the dragon, and kids sees the dragon as a subject, as a power.
You know, you're reminding me of something that I learned when my son was in 3rd grade. It really can be empowering for our kids if we, like you did, suggest to your daughter that you can be as strong as a dragon. You can be as brave as a dragon. You can be as powerful as a lion. You're giving them something. So it's not so much, it is a trick, you know, it's kind of like a psychological trick, but it gets them out of their thinking about, oh, I'm weak, I'm small, I can't do this. And when we get them to think about themselves as a dragon, they take on those characteristics, and they can accomplish amazing things.
Yeah, we must help them. You know, that all, fear of dentist, I believe everybody, all of us, had in some period of our lives. And to erase this, you really have to hang on something. And the dragon can be a good subject for to hang on and to erase your fears or erase the fears of your children.
We've had such a great time speaking to the author, A C Altintas. AC, thanks for being on the show.
Thank you, Jed. Thank you so much.
Please be sure to join us for the next edition of the Reading with Your Kids podcast. Our guests will be Christopher Gordon and Kristen Bento. They'll be here to celebrate Timothy's Lessons in Good Values. That's the next episode of the Reading with Your Kids podcast. Hey, please be sure to visit our website, readingwithyourkids.com. You can learn so much there. My daughter, Alejandra, has done such a great job reconstructing an already pretty awesome website. You can learn more about our Certified Great Read program, about our live events, about our brand new bookstore. And it is the place to purchase the Reading with Your Kids merchandise, especially our Reading with Your Kids face mask. That's right. Every time I go outside, I keep myself and others safe with my adorable Reading with Your Kids face mask. Get it all today. Visit our website, readingwithyourkids.com. Want to thank the folks who made today's show so very wonderful. Of course, we want to thank our guest, Ellwyn Autumn. Be sure to check out Teddy Bear Tea and A C Altintas, author of I Don't Want to Be a Dragon Without Teeth. Also want to thank my team, Alejandra Doherty, Fatima Khan. I want to thank my beautiful wife for all the support she gives me. I want to thank you. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. And as always, thank you so much for taking the time to make the world a better place by reading with your kids. I'll be looking for you in the next edition of the Reading with Your Kids podcast.